You've maybe heard that the Carney Liberals have decided to continue the Trudeau Liberals' gun ban. Back in May of 2020, the Trudeau Liberals banned about 2,500 models of guns because, seriously, they looked scary. Most of the manufacturers of those guns make other guns exactly the same models, but with different covers, with different decoration that don't look as scary, and those ones aren't banned. So if you're really serious about taking high-powered weapons out of the hands of Canadians, you have to take the unscary ones and the scary ones both at the same time. So the whole ban and confiscation has been a bollocks from the beginning. And now the Liberals are as much as admitting that. Gary Anandasangari, who is the public safety minister and an MP from the Toronto area, was recorded a couple weekends ago talking to a longtime acquaintance and saying, yes, well, we're not sure this is going to keep guns off the street. A lot of municipal police forces are not going to enforce it. And that's absolutely true. The Edmonton Police Service has said it's not going to enforce it. The Alberta government has told its law enforcement agencies, the sheriffs and others, not to enforce it. The Alberta government's also said if the RCMP, who police much of Alberta on contract to the provincial government, spend $1 on enforcing the gun confiscation, Alberta's going to deduct that dollar from their fee next year. The Saskatchewan government won't do it. The Ontario Provincial Police won't do it. So Anandasangari is right. There are going to be very few police forces that are prepared to put resources and manpower into the field to enforce a gun ban that makes no sense. Indeed, Anandasangari said, yes, well, it's not a very good ban. If I were doing it, because they haven't done it from scratch, they inherited the Trudeau program. If I were doing it, I would do it differently. But the thing now that really irks me is that when he was in Alberta a couple of weeks ago, Prime Minister Mark Carney went on a very popular podcast and said, oh, but this isn't a compulsory program. It's voluntary. People only have to give up their guns if they want to. Well, let me explain the three options that gun owners have after this program begins. They can sell their guns to the government and take whatever price the government's going to give them. Anandasangari, in his secretly recorded conversation with his constituent, was heard saying he would compensate the man personally if he didn't get the amount of money he thought his gun was worth. So you know the government's not planning to pay full market price for any of these firearms. That's option one. Sell it for a discount to the government. Option two is spend your own money having the gun deactivated. Now, deactivation costs somewhere between $500 and $1,000 per rifle, depending on how complex it is. And that means you take it to a gunsmith who takes the guts out of it so it can't ever fire again, and probably also welds up the parts that might fire in the future, so you can't undo the deactivation. At that point, it's really a planter. You could stick it butt end into your flower beds and maybe put some daisies in the barrel, but it's completely useless. And the third option is you can keep it until you are dead, but you are not allowed to take it out of its locked place. You're not allowed to take it out of your gun vault. You're not allowed to fire it. It is not to be shown to anyone, which sounds to me like you put those three together, and what they're doing is they're taking the gun away. You cannot enjoy your firearm, and that's people who are farmers, hunters, who need these guns to control vermin or to go hunting. It's not crazy people. There's no possible way that taking these guns away from ordinary law-abiding Canadians is going to reduce the number of criminal guns on our streets. Just earlier this summer, the Canadian Border Service Agency in Windsor found a man who had 48 guns and 17,000 rounds of ammunition that he had brought in from the United States. That's our big problem. The Toronto Police Service says 90% or more of the guns they seize are guns that were smuggled in by drug gangs and traffickers from the United States. And while the Liberals are going to spend $785 million on their confiscation scheme, they haven't dedicated a single dollar yet to stopping the smuggling of illegal guns. That's how insane this is. For Post Media, I'm Lorne Gunter.